Kevin Shen, and this is the saxophone audition video for Ontario Provincial Honor Band. This is the D chromatic scale. For this scale, you want to have a lot of air direction to a high D, and also a lot of air for the support. There are 3 fingerings that you want to watch out for that can make a smoother chromatic scale. One is the F sharp to prevent you from switching between lists. And the second one is the B flat, so it's easier to go from A, B flat to B. And lastly, it's a C sharp, which you move up for this key is known as the TC. That way, there won't be an awkward slide between 3 keys during your chromatic scale. It's a B flat major scale. The starting note being the lowest note on the instrument is a bit more difficult than the other note. So make sure you have enough air support to get the low B flat out. For the middle B flat, I would suggest your finger to stay on B flat, 1 and P. That way it's a lot easier than switching to other alternative B flat fingerings. This is a B flat major arpeggio. Always make sure you have a lot of air and support to get through more than just the arpeggio. This is the E major scale. You always want to make sure you have a lot of air and a lot of pressure to get through the scale, and don't hold back on the dynamics. This is the E major arpeggio. So I would suggest you keep your pinky on the G sharp key, so you won't have to press any additional key. This is the first etude for etude set A. For the first etude, you want to plan out where you're going to breathe. For my suggestion would be line 2, where there's a sequence happening and you can take a breath in between each instead of breaking a phrase. For the first etude, you want to watch the direction of your phrase. For example, the first rest in bar 1 doesn't break up the phrase, so you want to aim all the way to the low E as opposed to the A. For this etude, you want to watch out for the dynamic contrast with mezzo forte, mezzo piano, and crescendo to forte, etc. At the very end of the etude, try practicing without the trill first. That way you'll get the timing right. This is etude number 2. This is a rather fast etude. You want to watch out for the contrast between the slurs and the staccato. You always have to make sure to not rush, so you won't be overwhelmed by the end of the piece. For the staccato, you want a very light articulation, and for the slurs, you want to sort of dig into it to create the contrast. Always remember to use a lot of air and a lot of direction to the phrase, especially to the low Ds. This is etude number 3. One thing to watch out for this etude is the breathing. You have to plan ahead on where you're going to breathe, but make sure that your breath don't break up the phrase. There are a few accidentals you want to watch out for. Remember that they carry throughout the phrase. For the third etude, practice it with a metronome to make sure that your quintuplet is in time.
And we don't care about the young folks.